There it is.
Hey, yes, there it is. Everybody, welcome back to the Culture of Pop. And today, of course, as we have told you last week or last episode, we have our special friend Adan here, who is coming back from a awesome, cool thing that we'll probably never do. Premiere of his movie.
Never say never.
Never say never, you're right.
Never say never.
But we have Adan on the phone live from Texas, where Adan's from. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about how the movies went, or how the premiere went, and what he's doing now, because I've seen a couple of his things on his Staunch TV.
Right.
And we'll figure out what's going on. How you doing today, Adan?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Glad to be back.
Oh, yeah, we are glad to have you back.
Right.
So, first things first, the premiere. Rock and Roll High School Forever. It's just the most amazing movie.
I'm still trying to figure out the answer to the question that I asked.
But but your movie, we both watched your movie. We both thought it was really good and really well put together, really cool. So now we are back to hear about your experiences with premiering the movie at the Alamo Drafthouse and everything that's happened since then. So, Adan, tell us about the big night, please.
Well, I was obviously pretty nervous about the whole thing.
No, I would be too.
Because it's strange, working on something like this that keeps evolving, and I wasn't done with it till less than a month before. So with all that time and changing things up, and you kind of forget, you kind of lose sight of what you're doing as a fan or whatever. I'm making a movie that I want to see. That I'm never really gonna get the chance to fully see it. You know what I mean? So I was kind of worried about, is this gonna work?
I get it.
Because in my mind there was a narrative, there was a story, there was there was acts and shit like that.
Oh, I was glued to it myself.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, you see, and that's the thing. I was really worried, if it was going to play out, and it did, and it worked out. People laughed when they were supposed to.
Oh, cool!
And there was a lot of laughs that on parts I didn't see coming at all. So that was pretty interesting, and the people showed up too. So,
Cool.
We had a full theater. No one walked out that I saw.
Oh, good.
A full theater at the Alamo Drafthouse saw my face on a big screen.
Fred's more excited about that than anything.
That was one of the biggest problems as far as editing went. You do something like this, and it's I'm sure you guys seen a lot of similar documentaries.
Oh yeah.
They kind of have to start right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they got to catch you. They got to get you in.
Yeah, immediately it has to be engaging, and I was having trouble figuring out how to start it.
Oh my God! And you picked us as the people to be engaging too.
Jeez. Once I figured out, once I saw y'all's episode, and I was like, "This is cool." This kind of gets the point across that maybe there is other people out there that are interested, and then I'll help you guys out. Hopefully. As far as viewers and stuff,
we saw a little bit of a jump. Yeah,
we've had a bit of a jump in subscribers, awesome. So it's cool. It's very cool.
Sweet. And then the first thing you hear is you guys.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was pretty surprised about that. I was like, this is awesome. But I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying about engaging. And it did engage me from the very start. I watched about half of it with my wife, and then I watched the whole thing. I watched the whole thing when you first gave it to us, and then I watched about half with my wife, and she's not into that at all, and she even liked it. Nice. She's not into the movie, I should say. She didn't really ever hear of it, but yeah, I thought it was really cool that you did the thing at the beginning about Corey, because that's the same thing that I was thinking is. It's more of an ode to him than making fun of him. So I didn't want.
It was respectful.
It was very respectful. Yeah, I thought so too. And I don't understand why he doesn't give you a minute of his time. But whatever.
Yeah, he probably has agents.
Yeah, I've been in contact with his people, but he's been very busy himself. He has his own documentary coming out this month.
Oh, does he?
Curious about that myself, actually.
Yeah, he's releasing it on the 22nd, actually.
What's it about? The Angels or just him?
It's his documentary about exposing pedophilia.
Oh, so is that actually supposed to go somewhere? I mean, is he going to name names, or do you know any? I mean, because you know better than I do.
That's the question right now. Everyone's kind of
Whenever anybody asks him that question, he says you're just gonna have to watch it and see. And from what I've seen, he's only gonna be running this one day.
I believe it's going to be like ran one day online, and I think there's going to be like a premiere somewhere in Hollywood or something like that.
Oh, okay.
As far as I can see from the trailer, he's exposing the people behind Corey Haim's abuse and stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad he followed through with this because I heard about this months ago.
Yeah. And I know he went through with the one guy that used to be what was he, the head of some kids organization or something that was for talented actors that were young, and he let his name go or something. I can't remember the guy's name or whatever. But
he's already dropped a couple names.
Yeah.
He dropped a lot of clues, and the online community kind of put it together.
Oh wow! And, I remember that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, to see what he put together, But so I get why he's kind of busy.
Yeah. So, okay. So what was the feeling? I mean, what was the atmosphere like? Was it, how nervous were you? Because I would have been shitting my pants.
Yeah, man. There was kind of a buffer. It was a film fest, so there was like 4 shorts before.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know, I don't know if you guys ever been to film fest or whatever, but
it's
some of these shorts, well, some of these shorts can be a little,
yeah.
And, so getting through those, was kind of a chore. And I'm sitting there, all these people showed up to see my movie, and then we have to sit through that. It was cool, don't get me wrong, but I was just like, okay,
I know
no one leave.
Yeah, exactly.
And and then it just starts, and it was cool seeing like I was saying earlier, I wasn't able to watch it, making it. Seeing it on the big screen like that, it kind of changed my perspective. I was able to actually sit there and watch what I did, and
that's pretty cool.
Everyone seemed to like it, so I kind of eased up a little bit.
So
that's awesome.
Drunk.
I kind of imagine that if it was my documentary, if it was my film, I would be a little bit like Michael Caine was in that movie Noises Off. I don't know if you've seen that.
You love that movie.
I love that movie. I haven't seen it.
It's hilarious. All-star cast.
It is a good movie.
It's about a troupe of theater actors that are putting on this play, and Michael Caine is their director. The whole thing is told in flashback with him outside of the theater on their opening night on Broadway, drunk as fuck, telling this story to a fucking homeless guy.
Yep. I know exactly what you're saying.
That's exactly where I would be, is on the fucking street outside of the Alamo.
That's what I would probably be doing too.
As fuck.
Yeah, I'd probably be doing that too. I don't know if you got more gumption than me to even just face it. I'd be like, oh my God, if they walk out, I'm going to kill myself. But
that's funny.
What? And then you did a Q&A, right?
Yeah.
And how'd that go?
A little Q&A. It was interesting. That's when I noticed, like, okay, a lot of these people haven't seen Rock and Roll High School forever.
Yeah.
That were there.
Yeah.
But they enjoyed it nonetheless. So I think it was interesting enough. But there really wasn't. I guess no one really knew what to ask. Or
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
The couple questions I did get were like, how do I get a hold of the actors and stuff like that. Nothing too engaging. I'm hoping to do a few more film fests where.
Cool.
We're a little bigger, or people kind of more involved and stuff. But it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for like a year, and I mean, we're not expecting great things. We're doing it for fun. And the more you put things out there, the better it gets. So I'm sure you're going to get more and more and more questions and more,
for sure.
a reaction towards it, because, I mean, the more you put it out there. And it is a good film. Even if you don't like the movie itself or have never heard of it, it's still a good film about a making of a movie.
Hopefully it sparks interest in the movie, because it is kind of a cult classic, and I'd love to see it gain some recognition.
It would be nice if it was released on some right. Kind of a nice Blu-ray or something.
Yeah, like I said last time, the only place I could find this was on that double DVD, which there was actually a picture of that in the documentary.
Yeah, there was. I saw
like,
that.
Hey, I got a copy of that.
I think I put that.
Don't have that. Yeah.
So what else? What else can you tell us about it? What else? I mean, what other things have you done or not done since then? Because I know some of the stuff. But what else has happened in regards to the movie since you've had the premiere and everything? And
well, since then, I've obviously put it online on my channel for now. I'm going to take it down.
Yeah.
Because probably about April, it's going to be at another film festival.
Cool.
In Victoria, Texas. Yeah. And my goal of this year, I have a couple of them, but one of them is to get a hold of whoever owns it. And, I'm trying to get some spark going as well as far as a re-release or something like that.
Yeah.
I want to get it on their radar at least.
That's
part of it. And then I've been in talks with Leanne about possibly showing it out in Brooklyn this year.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow, that'd be cool.
She's out in New York, yeah. And also trying to get it shown in LA this year too. So
that would be awesome.
Two big places.
Trying to get it shown on the big screen, even if I'm not around, which I'm planning to be. But I'm trying to get it shown everywhere, as many places as I can, just to try to get on someone's radar, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're clear over in Ohio, and you're already on our radar. So, and I mean, we've promoted it, as much as we can in our small town.
I appreciate that.
But no, not a problem. Because, like I said, it's worth it. It's really good. But one of the questions
it brought up a thing from my childhood that I absolutely fucking love, and it reminded me of that, and I've rediscovered that fucking love.
Yeah, it does. It does that. Any movie does that when you grew up with that kind of thing, watching over and over on Showtime or wherever you got it, or and it just what I was going to ask was, how in the hell do you get? We're having it now. Okay, never mind. Sorry, we had a blip on our screen. How in the hell do you get the stuff you get on YouTube? Because we are having a bitch of a time. Do you get copyright claims and shit? I mean, I got a copyright claim. We got a copyright claim last week for playing that Sharkin'.
Really?
Yeah, that's the only one. I mean, I'm like, are you kidding me? This movie's ancient.
Movie.
So, I mean, do you get a lot of that shit? Do you get a lot of... I mean, I know this has nothing to do with the movie, but trust me.
No. That's fine. I like talking about my channel in general.
Yeah. Staunch TV, by the way.
A lot of work in that,
Yeah.
Dude, I get a lot of shit, especially with the music stuff I do.
Yeah.
They're all pretty much, if I'm ever monetized, I'm not going to get anything off of them.
Yeah.
So anything that Warner Brothers has a fucking toe in,
that's how they work.
Or Universal,
Yeah, Universal's a big one, yep.
Yeah, you're not getting around it. In fact, I did everything I could, but I have a copyright claim on my documentary right now.
Yeah.
Because of Jesus Jones.
Oh my God!
Jesus Jones song. It's owned by Warner Brothers.
Wow.
And even before I uploaded it, I went and cut at least 8 seconds out of it.
Yeah.
And I flipped the screen. And I put everything, and it still fucking did it. So
I don't get it. I don't get how they're wanting content creators to make content like us and you and everybody else, but they don't want to budge on anything, even if we're not making money on it.
It's like I've said, you got to find out who is getting paid. If you ever want to know how anything is in the world the way that it is or why it is, just find out who's getting paid, and you'll have your answer. And that's probably the same thing here. Just find out who is actually getting paid from this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you'll know why we can't do the shit we can't do.
Yeah, well, it's usually the big companies. That's how they're getting their scraps now. Which, I mean, I understand that to a certain degree, but when we're representing it in a different way entirely and adding on to it, it's like they should be free and willing to be able to do that.
Sure. It's mainly the music stuff, though. I guess all the movies I do are obscure enough to where they don't get picked up
under the radar.
I would have thought the same thing about that Eagle versus Shark, though.
See, that's what I was. That's what I was thinking about the Eagle versus Shark. I was like, if anyone that I would get picked on, or we would get picked on, it'd be that one. I'm like,
I've been a fan of his for a while, and that's the first time I ever heard of that damn movie.
I know, right?
He's thanking us.
That's the Noah Baumbach movie?
No. We're big into say it, Fred, because I'm gonna fuck it up.
He struggled with this for the first half of the last episode. Taika Waititi.
Yeah, and that was one of his first films with Jermaine Clement, and it's really funny, and I mean it looks really funny.
That movie.
But we got in trouble for running the trailer for that, and I'm like, oh my God, this thing's like clear at the bottom of the bucket as far as movies go. I mean, not in standards, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess because he's getting a little popular.
That could be it. It could be it that he's starting to push through. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's insane, and it's ridiculous.
Even so, that's like saying, don't tell people about our product; they might buy it.
I know. I I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I did watch your Black Circle Boys. The first, I watched the trailer for it, and then I watched the first. I think it was like part 1.
Yeah,
man, that brought a lot back to me. Have you ever seen that movie, Fred?
I have not.
You've got to see that movie because it actually was a pretty well done movie. It's cheesy, but it's good.
You keep throwing things at me to watch.
I know.
I still have your copy of that fucking Halloween movie.
Trick or Treat. Yeah, you're never gonna watch it. I know.
It's sitting on my console. It's still untouched. I haven't. It's not.
I think we talked to Adan the last time when you were supposed to watch this movie, and that was how many months ago?
Yeah, it was a while back.
So what are some of the other things you're working on for Staunch, and some of the other things? Tell us about other projects, and then we want to talk to you about some of like what's going on in the media as far as movies and stuff like that. But
that's fine. I got someone that was there at the screening worked for some podcast group in San Antonio.
Okay.
And they got a hold of me because they liked the movie and they want me to put a podcast together.
Oh, cool.
So I want to do that, mainly with all the stuff on the channel, but all extended interviews, like all the stuff that's not on. So that I'm kind of focusing on that, but that's not on my YouTube channel. But
okay.
As far as Staunch TV goes, I'm going to be doing a lot of the return stuff, kind of like the Black Circle Boys, where old movies, and I interview whoever. The Black Circle Boys one is going to be about 4 parts, I believe. I'm hoping.
Okay.
But I'm also doing Return to the Boneyard, which is an old independent movie from Fox, Jumping at the Boneyard.
Yeah, I remember
Jumping in the Boneyard. Yeah,
I remember.
It was Tim Roth's first movie in America.
Yep.
But but Reservoir Dogs came out before.
Yeah.
And it took over. And they were both at Sundance. They were both at Sundance at the same time. No one gave a shit about this movie. it was all Reservoir Dogs.
I remember because that was like, I always go down those rabbit holes where it's like if I see somebody I really like, I'll follow them, and I can remember that as a direct result of Reservoir Dogs, I became a huge Tim Roth fan.
I like Tim Roth myself.
And I went and saw and I saw Jumping in the Boneyard. We had it at Hollywood Video, I think.
Did we?
Yeah, and I saw Jumping in the Boneyard specifically for him. So I remembered it right away when you said it.
Yeah. He was good, and I talked to the director, and he tells me he gives me the scoop on everything. It was awesome.
That's awesome. That's cool.
He had a big feud with Tim Roth. he talks about it for like the first time ever, so that's going to be cool.
That's awesome.
And then I'm going to be doing Return to I guess it's like a Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead retrospective.
Oh, really? Really?
Talking to a few people. I've been in talks with Keith Coogan.
I was going to say you should be able to get. I was going to say you should be able to get him because I know he's pretty. He seems like he's out there with the fans and he'll talk to people and stuff. From what I've seen of him,
he's got no problem going back to that either. I mean, he was in Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Remember that?
Yeah, man, that was funny. I had been talking to him for a while. He's just a busy dude, and he's down and everything. We just need to set it up.
Yeah,
and then I saw that movie a few weeks ago. I was like, holy shit! like Keith Coogan getting some love. That's badass. I thought I was the only one. That was cool.
That is cool, though. What else? Anything else?
As far as the channel, I'm going to be doing a lot more music. I like making music episodes about music that I don't like.
That's a unique perspective. Usually somebody just praises what they do love.
Exactly, yeah. 'Cause all the movies I do, like, it's nothing but praise. So I like to... And I'm going to focus on that, too.
Yeah, I've seen some. I've watched a bunch of your stuff on Staunch TV, and like I said, some of the music stuff and some of the older movies. I did watch the Jumping in the Boneyard. I think it was a little trailer, a little clip there, and I've watched all that stuff and dug through there. And it's really amazing the different types of areas that you get into, and some of the stuff that like's never been never heard of since it was actually originally out.
Yes, yeah, that's my ultimate goal with this channel is to be that guy that.
Gets that out,
Someone like everything I put out there is because I couldn't find information on it, and I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Basically shining a light into the dark areas of the entertainment industry where nobody looks anymore.
Yeah. Pretty much, man. That's the goal right there.
I kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking on doing a retrospective. I haven't told Fred about this yet, but it's something that I'm digging in deep to.
Yeah.
I'm looking at doing a retrospective. Fred will be involved here, but I want to get into the Columbia House Record and Tape Club. Who remembers that? I honestly do. I want to do at least like a half an hour special on that. CDs. I went and watched commercials of it over the weekend. I did research on it, on how they exactly made money doing that, and all the people that ripped them off, including me.
Those 12 for a penny, CDs, that was my introduction to a lot of shit.
So I was just bringing that point up because it's like little things like that you get interested in, and you don't think, hey, nobody really knows about this, or nobody is kind of remembering this, and that's kind of the same route that you go down, and I like that about you, the fact that you're digging into, like I said, these things that aren't
the obscure shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I love obscure stuff. I mean, I'm a blockbuster man. I love blockbuster movies and action and all that fun stuff. But the obscure stuff is like really where it hits you in the heart. It's like, oh God, I remember this from blah blah blah, or whatever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
man, I totally hear you on that.
So the premiere went well and everything. You're going to be doing some more, which is very awesome. I wish you would. I don't see. I wonder if we could we be your representatives maybe and have a premiere here?
Oh yeah, man.
Well, no, because actually Northwestern Ohio has a film festival. Yeah, they do. It's it's once a year, but I'm not real sure when it happens. I think maybe June, July, something like that. I'm going to look into it more though for you, and I'll give you the information on it. And
oh man, I would love to do that.
Yeah, that would be really cool to get it out here and get it, somewhere different from the bigger areas,
for sure,
where you can get a lock on it. But
we work it out, man, and I can possibly fly out there and everything.
That would be awesome. But I'll check it out and see when they're going. If anybody's listening right now, or anybody's paying attention to us, we're looking for information on the Northwestern Ohio Film Festival. I know it happens every year.
People do pay attention, otherwise we wouldn't have gotten those 2 angry reactions.
Yeah, well, Fred's so upset about that. Jeez.
Not upset. Not upset. Upset's too strong. I'm just curious.
If we're getting angry reactions, I'd rather, but at least if we're getting angry reactions, then we got a reaction out of somebody. When you get it's like, okay, they liked it. Okay, cool. But what did they really think of it? But man, when you get a pissed off reaction, it's like, okay, we know what they thought of it. We got a reaction. Cool.
Listen, anybody can just see a video playing on Facebook when they're scrolling and hit the like button and keep scrolling.
Yeah,
the video.
Exactly.
If they're angry reacting, that means they actually fucking listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm like. All right, cool.
I'm still curious.
Yeah, I know you are.
I can't stop my curiosity about dumb shit.
Yes, we know. But as far as anything else goes, so what have you been up to, movie-wise, music-wise? Is the band still rolling, or what do you guys? And give us some updates on all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're still doing the band thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually trying to book another little Texas tour and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of maybe taking a break on that for a while, because I kind of have to get a bunch of personal shit going.
Okay.
Luckily with my channel and all that, that's something I can always do. But
yeah.
There's just like, I need to focus on me a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to try to do another tour at least.
Okay,
and
cool.
I plan on taking a little break with that, but I just have so much shit going with the, I don't know. I'm really trying to get a following still, so I'm getting like a slow.
Yeah.
Believe me, we can relate. Trust me.
Yeah. It's going slow, but it's going, and I just with the premiere and everything, I kind of want to focus. I like the idea of putting out one big documentary every year.
Yeah. I think that's an awesome idea.
That is a nice goal.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep working on that. Just keep busy. I actually got kind of distracted. I'm not sure what you even asked me.
No, sorry, you're right. We're just sitting here chit-chatting.
This is what we do, man. We just sit here and shoot the shit for an hour every week. I
have to ask only because, first of all, do you mind if we ask what you do for a living? Or, I mean, what's your...
right now I'm at this barbecue place here in town called Republic.
Oh God,
and
love barbecue.
I'm trying to get my my paralegal thing going. I graduated.
Oh, okay, cool.
And, so I got a whole bunch of applications in at different law firms. And
cool.
So that's the focusing part I was talking about.
Yeah, no, I that's why I wanted to ask, because I wanted to see, I mean, I'm sure that our viewers want to know, what else you're doing and exactly how, because I mean, a lot of people don't realize that we're, a lot of us out here do have jobs and are working our butts off, on the outside world or whatever, but at the same time, we're doing this, and it's kind of cool that, we can have this hobby and show it off to other people, and at the same time, we're working our butts off at other jobs and stuff like that. So
I'm working 2 jobs right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
for sure.
Yeah,
it makes you appreciate everything that much more. And
it does.
It really like it.
I mean, every like you get, every subscriber you get, it's more of a like, oh man, we did it. Just even if it's just 2 more or 3 more, it's it's amazing. Sure. It makes you feel so good, and that's why I kind of don't understand. I don't understand a lot of these other people that bitch on YouTube that have 11 million subscribers, and they're like bitching about shit, and I'm like, you need to get back to the beginning, to the basics, where it was cool to have 1 subscriber.
Yeah.
Puts things in perspective.
Yeah, man, it's like, sometimes I'm like, man, maybe I should just fucking make Star Wars shit or something that people will watch. But then I'm like,
people will too.
Yeah, it's like, if I do that, though, it's going to be like, oh, I don't even want to get into that.
In order to become really popular making Star Wars videos, though, you have to bitch about it.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't sing praises to it, or you're going to lose.
Unfortunately,
so people like bitching. So I'm putting out these music videos where I'm able to bitch about things, like, and I don't know how y'all guys feel about Idiocracy.
Oh God, we love it.
Yeah, okay.
The only comedy to slowly become a documentary.
most people share your opinions.
Yeah.
I personally do not like that movie.
You don't like it at all, really?
No, it's one of my least favorite movies of all time.
For what? Now wait.
Opinions.
Is it based on the comedy, or is it based on the context? Does the comedy just, because I will admit that the comedy in it, as I've said before to Fred, is a little juvenile.
Oh, very much.
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes that puts people off. Like, I don't know if you saw our episode a couple weeks ago, but I didn't care for Jay and Silent Bob reboot at all. I thought it was just childish and juvenile.
I did see some of that.
I just thought it was juvenile as shit. It's just beneath me. I mean, and it was the same movie as Jane's, and I get the joke that it was supposed to be a reboot. I get all that.
It was supposed to be even more the same.
So is that the way you feel about Idiocracy, or you just don't like the movie as a movie itself?
Well, it's funny. I'm actually, that's going to be a big video I put out, but I'll give you some bullet points.
That works.
I don't think it's funny at all. This is like, I'm a big Mike Judge fan. I saw this movie when it first came out, like, and I remember just like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was Mike Judge's signature was nowhere in that movie, in my opinion.
You are right. It is totally. If you told a Mike Judge fan this is a Mike Judge movie, I don't know if they'd buy it.
I will say this: it gets less and less funny as time goes on, because I mean, you work in food service too. I mean, you see it. You see it.
Yeah.
Every person that comes in with a slack-jawed look on their face and just stares at me.
The thing was, even with Mike Judge, especially with Office Space, but even with Beavis and Butthead. Still, it was juvenile, but there was still an amount of over the top or over the head humor that adult, that people. Oh my God, that's really, you know what I mean?
Went over the kids' heads and smacked
exactly. So I mean, that's why I understand what you mean by Idiocracy, because I mean, I do like it, but it points out the fact of what I said about Jay and Silent Bob reboot, why I was disappointed in that. So I can see why you were disappointed in Idiocracy.
Yeah, it's like the one thing. It's like the one Mike Judge movie. The one thing he's ever done that I don't like at all.
Oh, did you like Extract?
Extract, yeah.
Did you see Extract?
I did like Extract.
Oh, God, that was great.
That shit was hilarious. So.
Yeah. Jason Bateman is, he's one of my favorites. But
I even love that movie, and I was having audio issues while I was watching it. My air conditioner is really fucking loud. My wife was asleep, so I couldn't understand what they were saying through half the movie, and I still fucking loved it.
I thought it was really good. Mike Judge, he writes these characters in all his movies. You get like Extract.
Oh yeah,
David Koechner. He's like, hey, and by the way, guys, like, you get those characters. You get in all of his movies. That character was nowhere in Idiocracy. That guy's not there.
I know what you're saying.
And, there's no neighbor like an Office Space. My cousin don't do shit. Like, to me, it's just there's no identity.
Peter, man.
There's no Mike Judge. And,
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to that, but I'll get into that with the whole. That's another thing I'm gonna start. I'm thinking of making videos about movies I don't like this year.
I'm eager to hear your full thoughts. I'm eager to see this video.
I am too.
What was it about the reboot you didn't like?
I didn't like any of it. I tell you, I'm going to tell you what is that I know that Kevin Smith can be, because I mean, of course, probably like you and much like Fred, we followed him since Clerks. I think that Kevin Smith can be a lot more clever and intelligent, but at the same time being crude, like he did with Jay and Silent Bob, the first one. And Clerks, and many other movies where he's put vulgarities and which I don't care, but I'm just saying. But Jay and Silent Bob reboot just seemed like an old '80s movie that you would have seen for $1 at some shitty theater. And
your view, though,
it was so beneath me. I was disappointed. That's the problem.
Your view on this movie reminds me of something he said in one of those Evening with Kevin Smith things. When he was like, I'll be sitting there on my ass just getting stoned all the time, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, the Bills are due better. Jay and Silent Bob.
Exactly, and that's what I think. I think it was a movie specifically done when he was high, completely high, out of his gourd.
He's not sober anymore.
And I just expected more of a little enlightened comedy. I don't like Dogma. Dogma's the perfect Kevin Smith movie. We've said it before because it's got all the vulgarities. It's got Jay and Silent Bob. It's got everything that connects to Kevin Smith. But at the same time, it's got a lot of really good, clever humor and a lot of thoughtful humor
and heart.
Yes, which this one I thought was just. I mean, I really legitimately felt like I had to walk down to the gutter to go see it.
See, I disagree. I think the inclusion of his daughter added just enough heart to that movie.
I do.
It was excusable that he was rehashing the same.
His daughter was good, but I mean, she's been good. She was good in the last thing she was in. What was that? Yoga Hosers, which I liked. Which a lot of people say, how can you like Yoga Hosers and not that? Because Yoga Hosers was something completely different. I mean, it was
Yoga Hosers was off the fucking wall. That was just weird.
Did you like Jay and Silent Bob rebooted on?
I can't necessarily say I liked it, but I didn't hate it either. There was enough in it. There was enough in it to where I laughed every couple minutes,
Yeah, and that's the way I was, but I think it was more not that I hated it, it was just that I was disappointed in him. It was just like, man, it was like there could have been so much more done and so much more different, in jokes that hadn't been done. Like, I mean, how many more times, I swear to God, if I see Jay one more time crossing his legs doing the fucking Silence of the Lambs thing, I'm going to throw up all over myself. It's like, okay, the joke was funny the first time, and now we're doing it like every movie.
See, this is how I feel about the Austin Powers sequels.
Yes, I know you do.
I'm sorry.
But see, Austin Powers, I think, has a little bit of, it's juvenile, but at the same time, there's some jokes that do go over some people's head that you're like, oh God, that was funny as shit. You know what I mean? And I like that when you put that kind of shit in there.
I'm just saying, don't watch them back to back.
I'm sure I will watch Jay and Silent Bob. I tried to get my wife to watch it because she heard on a podcast or one of our podcasts. I was going to try to get her, and she's like, "Why do you want me to watch it if you don't like it?" And I was like, "I just want to see if you like it."
Different perspective.
And she's like, "I'm not gonna." And I was like,
I think my favorite part in the whole movie, my favorite Kevin Smith movie is Chasing Amy.
Oh yeah.
So that stuff was badass. I love that part.
I
started crying on that shit.
There was definitely some good. There was some
personal meanings for me too. So
there was some really good things in it. Like, I mean, like I said, one of the really clever things was when he ran into Comic-Con and the Clerks people were there and they were all in black and white. That was a cool joke. I mean, stuff like that, and I expected more of that. Okay, enough for Kevin Smith for now. I mean, he gets enough promotion already. Did you say? I gotta ask.
He stopped doing his Fat Man Beyond podcast.
I know, and he stopped doing. There was another one too that he stopped doing.
Black Man Beyond because Mark Bernardin's doing it now.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't listened to any of his podcasts because he rambles on way too much for me. I mean, I love him. I think he's great, but
he'll give away half the movie before he looks at the camera and says, "Oh, spoilers, by the way."
Exactly, you're correct. Have you seen, I have to ask it because we've been talking about it the last couple episodes, have you seen Birds of Prey?
I have not. No.
Okay, are you interested in seeing it?
I do want to see it. I just have no motivation to go to see it. No,
that's cool. I was just curious because I know it's a big thing of contention because over the weekend, Sonic beat the shit out of it.
Did it?
Oh, yeah. Sonic beat the crap out of it. I mean,
Stuckman did a review, but I didn't watch the review.
He said he liked it, and he said if you're a huge Sonic fan, as in the character, you'll like it. And if you're just a comedy fan, he said basically it was made for kids.
See, what I was seeing is that Jim Carrey carries this fucking movie.
Yeah, that was what he said too. Yeah. He did. He said that was his best part was Jim Carrey. He said as soon as Jim Carrey comes in, everything's good and everything's, he's doing his zany Jim Carrey stuff and some other stuff.
They fixed the CGI because that original design was the stuff of fucking nightmare.
And that's what a lot of YouTube people are saying, and I do agree to it, is that even if you don't want to go see the movie, pay for a ticket, $12 or 15 or whatever it is, and just give it to somebody or something just to support the fact that Hollywood actually did something right. They actually heard us, went back, and redid everything.
I'm not going to disagree.
Awesome,
I'm not saying we have money to, waste. I'm just saying, we should support this movie, even if we talk about it or whatever, because...
I'm pretty selective about what I pay for.
I know. But it was a good thing they did. It was an awesome thing that they went back and did that, because, obviously, now they're going back and renaming Birds of Prey Harley Quinn, so,
that's crazy.
Did they think that the original title was just too long or something?
Okay, here's the problem. Yeah. Sorry, Adan, I'm going to get off on a tangent here for a second.
No. Go ahead.
Here's the problem. I don't think so much now that I've looked at everything, haven't seen the movie yet, want to see it, but now that I've looked at everything, I think it was all the media, the interviews before that ruined it. Ewan McGregor saying this is a feminist movie. This is, it's highly anti-misogyny. This is a guy that cheated on his wife, but anyway, Ewan McGregor put a whole big thing out about that, and then of course, we had Margot Robbie saying, basically, this isn't for men gazing at. This is total, anti-misogyny.
Well,
I think it was the interviews.
Before I've said this publicly, she could wear a fucking floor-length.
Oh my God, you say that every episode.
She could wear a floor-length burlap sack with a head and armholes cut out, and I'd still find her fucking attractive.
And that's actually, if you like the movie, it shouldn't matter what the person's dressed in anyway.
Not really, no.
And I really honestly think that this movie, for once, one of these movies that got a bad rap. I think that the actors themselves screwed it up by doing stupid interviews.
She did the same thing with Captain Marvel.
She did.
And Marvel's Marvel though. Like I think people are going to go see that.
Yeah, they are. It's
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's going to be always that way. I think Marvel got the footing early on, and
people have been rubbed the wrong way by DC way too many fucking times.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. That's the reason I haven't gone. I go see all these movies the day they come out. You
know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go see a Suicide Squad sequel.
The saving grace of that is that it's not only is it James Gunn from Guardians of the fucking Galaxy who has proven that he can fucking do an ensemble cast, but it's not even really a sequel. They're completely restarting the whole thing.
Oh, are they restarting it all?
I would definitely watch that. I meant Harley Quinn. I wouldn't.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that movie.
Yeah,
I consider. I guess that's kind of a sequel to Suicide Squad.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, I think that's what they were intentionally making it, but I think it became something else.
And they may tie that into this new Suicide Squad. What I'd like to see, I would like to see that big Crisis on Infinite Earths event that just reset everything with the TV shows.
Yeah,
I would like to see that reset the fucking movies too, because they brought Ezra Miller into that arc on TV.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be some shit?
Yeah, tied into the whole movie thing, and it'd be great if they said, okay, we're just resetting every fucking thing. Forget all those dark, depressing movies that we just fucking did. We're gonna do this more like Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman now.
Yeah,
like whatever they have to do, man. Like, goddamn, just
right.
Yeah, I wish they would just get their shit straight, and just because I'm a DC person and I love all those characters, and I kind of still wish.
Do you see the Batman reveal? Did you see the suit reveal?
Yeah. Well, did you see that, Adan? The suit reveal.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was pretty cool.
I thought it was cool.
I like that it kind of resembles the Arkham suit from the games. The only thing I'm not certain about is that Gotham by Gaslight collar that he's got.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. It's kind of strange. But
that's the one thing I've been hearing is the collar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of dig it, but I don't really have an opinion on it.
Did you hear about the gun thing? The fact that the bat signal on his thing is made out of a gun.
Is it?
It's made out of a disassembled gun, and they say it's the gun that killed his parents.
Huh.
If you go back and look at it again, or look at a close-up picture of it on the internet, and you can see it looks like it's made out of something steel and something.
When you're going to tell the same story that you've told 5 fucking times, you got to do something different with it.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty cool when I saw that. That's not official, but that's what everybody's saying is that the rumor is that's like either the gun, which what was he when his parents died? He's going to pick up the gun and take it. That was kind of weird, but whatever.
He's friends with Jim Gordon, so
yeah, that's true too. Maybe Jim Gordon had it in the evidence file and he just grabbed it.
He's got billions of dollars.
I have to go check that out.
Yeah, you'll have to go look at it because you can, if you see a close-up picture of it, you can kind of, and I'll put one up on the screen when we edit this.
All he has to do is go to the fucking police station and say, "Here's $1 billion for some fucking supplies. And
give me that gun that my parents were killed by.
Give me some of that evidence."
Oh my goodness! So what else is out there new that you've seen, or what?
So I can go back to Puerto
Rico. What's some of your opinions on some movies? Let's get to some opinions on some movies this kind of month, and what's some stuff you have seen and stuff, even obscure stuff that you've seen lately, or want to get out there and kind of get people to know.
Oh man, I haven't really been watching too many old. I've been one of my things this year was to watch more movies.
Okay.
Because I spent a lot of last year watching TV and old movies.
Yeah. I do the same.
I've been catching up on my to-do list this year. I saw what's that movie? Upgrade. Do y'all see Upgrade?
Oh God, that movie's incredible.
It was awesome.
You need to see it.
I'm curious.
Wasn't that a great movie?
Yeah, it was way better than I was like, why did I wait so long to see this? What the hell?
Do you have that?
I have it. It's about this dude that how does he get the upgrade? I can't remember. He just it's been so long.
Yeah, they get mugged and he gets shot in his back.
Yeah, and he gets this upgrade where he becomes pretty much like the Terminator. He can, not like metal or anything like that, but
it's what Venom should have been. It's the movie Venom should have been.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. He basically becomes a badass that can do just about anything.
And you said this is on your video?
Yeah, it is. It's called Upgrade. It came out about 2 years ago or something like that.
A year ago.
Yeah.
2 years.
The thing is, when it comes to these obscure movies that we talk about here, and you recommending that I should watch them, what you're forgetting is that my wife and I live on the same schedule now. And
I think your wife would like Upgrade.
When we sit in front of the TV, it has to be a mutual decision what goes on the screen.
I think you would like Upgrade, and I think she would too. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good, and it's out there. I
can say that, but it took her fucking 8 years to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's funny, because I used to say, you know what, you love Angel, and it's the same fucking show.
Oh, my God.
Just watch Buffy, for fuck's sake.
Did anybody see, am I the only one that saw Dr. Sleep?
I saw that twice, actually.
What'd you think of that? So you did like it?
I did. I really liked the book. And my whole thing was, obviously, the book ends different than The Shining did, the first one.
Yeah.
In the first one, he gets frozen or whatever.
Yeah.
The miniseries was actually more. Yeah.
Yeah. In the novel, he blows himself up.
Yep.
And everything. And in the novel, Dick O'Halloran lives, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And some of my favorite stuff in Dr. Sleep was Dick kind of mentoring, I forgot his name.
Danny?
Danny, yeah. It was kind of him mentoring Danny.
Yeah.
And I was worried the whole time. I was like, man, that's not going to be in the movie. Like, because in this universe, he's dead or whatever. But, they got around it. That was...
Yeah, that was cool how they got around it.
It is a direct sequel to the movie, then.
Yes, and it's very good. And what did you think of? Because I thought it was really cool. What did you think of the not reenactment scenes, but the scenes from The Shining with different actors?
Damn.
I thought that was done really well.
I had no idea that was Henry Thomas.
Yeah, I know, right?
What the hell?
I know. Yeah.
Crazy.
And it was just done. I mean, when they showed like when they showed Jack Torrance and they showed the mom and everything, it's like
Shelley Duvall, man, that lady they got for her was so perfect,
brilliant. I know, right?
I'm fucking curious now.
Yeah, you got to see it, dude, because there's like he goes back and and has some dream stuff and thinks about and then he goes into the bar actually in the Overlook and his dad's serving him, and the guy they got, I mean, he wasn't over the top. He kind of looked like Jack during that point, Nicholson. person, and it was good.
Their de-aging technology to throw them in there, though.
Because Jack and them probably didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
What's that?
They didn't, because that's always kind of distracting. And this one, they just recast them, and it worked.
Yeah, it did. I thought it worked perfectly, and I was really surprised because I didn't know that was going to happen. So it was a big surprise for me especially when it gave me chills when he talked about the Jack Daniels bottle, and then they kind of pan the camera over, and you see that it's his dad, and it's like, oh wow, this is really creepy.
I think the scope was a little off. It kind of felt like a TV movie, but
it did at points. Yeah,
the guy's a TV director, so it's cool.
And the lady who played the I don't remember her character's name, but the main character who she's I can't think. She was awesome. She was amazing.
Aside from Ewan McGregor, I'm unfamiliar with the cast.
Yeah, you definitely have to see it, especially if you like The Shining, or even if
I love The Shining.
I'm not a huge Shining fan, but I know
me neither,
I know of all the
that was one of the
backstory.
That horror marathon on the last day of the drive-in year before last actually.
Yeah,
that was great. They played The Shining and The Exorcist, and there was one more in there. I think it was It Part 1 actually. That was a fun time at the drive-in. I love it.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, and they got during the reenactments they have a little Danny too.
Nice.
And the Danny kind of looks like the kid who played Danny. I mean, it's really cool. It was really inventive.
Cool.
And it was really
stuff
good.
All through the movie indicating that we faked the moon landing?
No, I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any of that.
One thing that was cool is that Michael Monks was in that movie, and I interviewed him for Forever, my documentary.
Yep.
So I went and saw it the first night, and damn it, I didn't see him, So I messaged him. I was like, dude, I saw the movie. I didn't see you anywhere. And he told me that, well, you got to pay attention. And I was like, oh, shit. So I went back and watched it again, and then I spotted him. He's one of the ghosts that gets set free at the end.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because all those are recast, too, from the original.
Oh, yeah.
So he's, I think he's like the bellhop guy or whatever.
Okay.
And he's right. He's on top of whenever they all attack her at the end. Spoiler alert, everybody. But yeah, he was in it. It was awesome. I was like, hey, this guy's in my movie too. That's awesome.
I'm getting chills right now thinking about it, only because I don't want to get off topic, but it was the other scene that was really cool. I don't want to spoil this for Fred. Was when he first goes back into the to the bedroom and all that stuff, and you see where Jack Torrance had hacked everything open with the axe. You see those doors, man. It gave me chills. It was like, oh wow, this is so cool.
This is one of those that's actually likely to happen because my wife loves The Shining too.
So you definitely need to see it. You have to see it.
Will do.
I hear there's a director's cut that's like 30 minutes longer.
Oh really?
Oh wow.
It's on the Blu-ray, apparently.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to get the Blu-ray now because I bought the digital copy. Wow.
I always prefer physical media anyways.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people do.
Display piece. Even if I don't touch it, I just like to have it because everything's streaming on fucking Netflix, Vudu, fucking Hulu, every goddamn thing. But I like having that physical media to display on racks and shit.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Remnant of an old time.
Remnant of an old time. I got rid of all my shit and I went to digital, but it's probably going to kill me in the end when we have the apocalypse and there's no internet.
Yep. Yep, you're going to be sitting there with a generator and a TV and nothing to watch.
Oh boy. So what else? What else have you been doing? What have you seen? What's going on in Texas, man?
Oh, Texas.
It's
man,
hotter than
I live in I'm in the very bottom of Texas, so there ain't much going on out here.
Where would you say, if I wanted to go to Texas, where would be the best place to visit? Austin? I hear great things about Austin, about movies and shit like that. But I mean, is that?
Yeah, Austin's cool. I wouldn't want to stay there too long.
Really?
It's like hipster paradise.
That's what I've heard too. Yeah.
I feel the same.
But it's cool. It all depends. Yeah.
So
I was there in LA. It was actually I felt kind of a similar vibe. It was weird.
Yeah. It's.
Oh yeah.
It is a strange.
I say San Antonio.
San Antonio, really?
It's cool. San Antonio or Dallas is really cool too.
My question wouldn't be what's the best place to visit. My question would be what's the best place to eat. I plan.
See, that's the thing, man. You guys have tons of barbecue, and I am a huge barbecue fan.
Oh, there's barbecue all over the place.
Yeah.
The taquerias down here, the Mexican joints. Like,
yeah, see, that's the other thing, too. Yep.
I would break that for that shit.
Yeah, that shit's for real down here. Like,
yeah.
I'm like walking distance.
We have tenderloins in Ohio.
Tenderloins.
That's our claim to fame.
Our claim to fame is tenderloins. Our famous tenderloins.
It's true though. When I lived in Florida for 7 years, I couldn't find a decent tenderloin anywhere. There was like one place that served it, and it was shitty. When you have a tenderloin, the bun needs to be like 1/3 the size of the tenderloin. It needs to spill out on all sides.
That's what it does here. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't think about that until you travel around. It's like you don't.
Exactly.
In LA, like in LA, there was no tacos. There was no pickles at the movie theater.
Wow,
really?
We don't have those either.
Yeah.
I remember I used to work for Hot Topic, and every year I worked there for about 8 years, and every year we went to LA to go. We had a lot of cool stuff happen. We would get private concerts by like Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, people like that. Nice. It was really cool. I remember every time I went to LA, when they everything was catered for us. And everything was like vegan and fucking kale and all, and it's like, oh my, can I have some real food, please?
The one thing I wouldn't try when I was in Los Angeles was the pizza. I don't know.
It sucks, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen pictures, because I worked in pizza for 25 fucking years.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen pictures of some pizzas and fucking, but I look at that shit, I'm like, that's not a fucking pizza. That's a blob of mess.
Well, they have all those fancy ass pizzas too, though, with like all different kinds of asparagus and shit in them.
The sauce doesn't go to the crust. They don't do what I call edge lock, where you get the cheese to lock the sauce in. And
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah. You got to have that.
It's pretty bad. I think last time we had talked. Last Jedi wasn't out yet, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, hey, that's what I was going to ask you about. I forgot about that. Yeah. So what'd you think? What'd you think of Rise of Skywalker?
That's what I meant to say. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, you're right.
It was another. I didn't love it or hate it.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I need to watch it again before I give it the.
Yeah, I do too.
At this point, it's just like which one of the last three was better, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I think Rise of Skywalker kind of fell into the same boat as Revenge of the Sith, in that they were kind of locked into what they could do. The previous two set it up to a point where they had to do what they did, or it just wasn't going to fucking make sense.
Yeah, I after all the ones that I've seen so far, I still think The Force Awakens was the best one. Only because it was just such a big surprise, and it was glad to have the gang back together again. And
it felt like Star Wars.
And it felt like Star Wars. It very much did. And of course, you know how I feel about Last Jedi, but I need to see Rise of Skywalker again. I know, let me put it this way, with Rise of Skywalker, I enjoyed it as just a movie, as a fun movie.
Yeah, it was fun.
For sure.
But I'm sure, there were things that kind of irritated me, but on the other hand, everything that I was down about before I went and saw it, like, oh, this is going to happen, it didn't bother me. Like me and Fred discussed before.
I figured that would be the case. It's all context.
Yeah.
When you read those articles or watch those videos that are just bitching about shit, they take all of that stuff out of context, and then they present it to you like that. When you see it within the context of the movie, it makes fucking sense, and you don't mind.
Yeah.
Unless you pay too much attention to those dickbags, then you've already decided that you hate it before you go and see it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and that's I try not to do that at all.
For sure.
What did you think of it as in a Star Wars movie? Did you think that it completed that trilogy in a good way, or?
I don't know, man. It's weird because I still feel like they need another movie or something.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like
they had to spend the first half of Rise of Skywalker backtracking,
correcting,
over what Rian Johnson did.
Yeah.
And I even like
Rian Johnson.
Yeah, I know you do.
Ryan Johnson, I feel like he set up such a big mystery about the Force. And, like, we're going to figure all this shit out.
Yeah.
And it just went nowhere with that.
Right. Plus the lightsaber.
I wanted to see some more of that.
Where'd the lightsaber come from? There's apparently a comic out there right now that answers the question of where Maz Kanata got that fucking lightsaber.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Huh. But it's not mentioned in the movies, and it should have been.
That
was one of the biggest things from The Force Awakens was, where'd you get this fucking lightsaber? Oh, that's a long story for another time that we're never gonna get to.
Yeah.
What's the beeping?
Go ahead. It was somebody calling. I forgot to take that option off.
Like that, I know people have the argument that it kind of shit on the entire saga with having the Emperor just come back or whatever.
Yeah, I still think that's a little odd, but I like the way they brought the Emperor back, and I like the way that they explained that he had been living for so long and how he'd been living.
I have theories about that too.
But then again, I mean, it was kind of shameful that, I mean, it seems like, nothing in Return of the Jedi was good then.
What else could they do? They were setting up Snoke to be the new Emperor of this trilogy, and then
they killed him.
Said, fuck that, kill him.
Dumbass.
So what else? Where else could they go?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I
almost had to pull the Emperor out there as.
Yeah, it makes you question like all of the motivations from all the other movies. Like,
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Why was he doing this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It like
why was Snoke? You know what I'm saying? Like if he had all those shits and a big plan, why even waste your time with that shit?
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what I'm thinking.
You're giving the resistance more time to build. Like
as much as I enjoyed them, you could tell that there was a very clear lack of planning with that story.
Yeah.
Then again, George Lucas pulled the original trilogy out of his ass too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to realize. I mean,
I read a thing when Yoda said there is another in the end of Empire Strikes Back, and his last scene in Empire Strikes Back. He wasn't referring to Leia. At that point, Leia was not yet Luke's sister. There was somebody else.
You're right.
There was a different, whole different character that we hadn't seen yet, living on the other side of the fucking galaxy that we're going to get to in the third trilogy.
Yeah, true.
The sequel trilogy.
Now I'm hearing that is there a comic? There's a comic or a book coming out that I guess this is kind of weird. That is going to explain Palpatine's his love interest, or they made, not made.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and it's going to concentrate on Palpatine. It's going to have other stuff in it, but it's
Palpatine Bones.
It's supposed to take place between Jedi and the Rise of the Skywalker, something like. It's going to be this long, huge story, and it's going to say basically how Rey got to be Palpatine's granddaughter. So I guess we get to see like a romantic love story with Palpatine running through the woods.
After Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, it's weird the way they're doing it. Well, because he dies in Return of the Jedi. A lot of
liquor involved in that night.
Well, he dies after Return of the Jedi. So I mean, obviously he was out there knocking boots with somebody to get Rey. Well, even though it's his granddaughter, but whatever. I'm so mixed up, dude. I don't even get into the books or the comics because it makes it more confusing for me. I'll just stick with the movies.
I used to try, but I'm glad I didn't go too deep, because then they just said, "Fuck all that. We're starting over."
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. Yeah.
How about what's y'all's overview on Mandalorian?
Oh, I love.
Oh God, loved it. How about you?
That was an incredible show. It was.
Yeah, no, I liked I enjoyed the whole experience, especially the last episode. I thought that show was
awesome. Yeah.
It was just Star Wars enough that it felt like going home, and just different enough that you were glued to the TV the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what? I hate to admit, whenever I finish a series like that, I try to go back and I think what were the weakest parts of this? What were whatever?
Yeah.
And I figured I kind of came up with my least favorite episodes.
Okay.
And it turns out they were all directed by women.
Oh, jeez.
Don't say that too loud. You get canceled.
Yeah, I know, yeah, but I'm just saying, like...
I understand.
I'm kind of wondering, what were some of y'all's least favorite episodes?
I think there was a couple that, not least favorite, but a couple that were kind of like, it kind of took a minute to get through them, because maybe there was some stuff I wasn't interested in necessarily. But I mean,
honestly, I think the Jawa episode.
Yeah, that wasn't great. Yeah,
that was like the second one, I believe.
Yeah, the second or third. Yeah, I think it was the second one.
Yeah,
they took a step back from the story that they had just started building, and they said, "Let's fuck around here for a while."
Yeah.
You want stars in your Star Wars, and he didn't even go into fucking space in that episode till the end.
Yeah. And now this is
the first two episodes on the same fucking play. It kind of reminded me of Knights of the Old Republic, where you spend your first 50 hours of gameplay on fucking Paris.
Jeez.
And they don't let you leave.
Now, the one thing that I never brought up when we did discuss The Mandalorian a couple weeks ago, me and Fred, was that I never knew anything, and I was surprised as shit because I don't read any of the other stuff. about what is it? I was surprised as shit about what is it called? The Dark Sword?
The Dark Saber.
Oh, the Dark Saber. Yeah. I had no idea that existed, and when that showed up, I was amazed. I was like, "This is cool shit."
That was from the old canon, from the old stuff that they had in the books that they dismissed. They brought it back, I think, in Rebels.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was a whole big Mandalorian storyline in there too. Sabine Wren, I think her name is one of the crewmates on the Ghost on the ship in that show.
So what's the story? And this is like one of the most powerful lightsabers, or is it a lightsaber?
Honestly,
or is
I couldn't tell you the specifics because I didn't finish watching Rebels. I decided, you know what, this is a sequel to Clone Wars. I should go watch Clone Wars first.
Yeah.
So I stopped watching Rebels and I went to Clone Wars. I got like 2 seasons into Clone Wars on Netflix, and then I got back on the next day to start up season 3, and it was fucking gone. I'm like, what the hell? And
that's the kind of shit that
Disney
happens.
Plus in 2 months. That's why. And then the wife wanted to watch it, so we started it over, and I'm not even to the point where I stopped.
Yeah. What did you think of you're a music man, Adan. What did you think of the music in it? I mean, I that's one of the things that blew me away. Really. Yeah. I mean,
well, I thought it was a little off-putting at first. I was like, "What the hell?" But once you get that they're going for the
Western,
the Sergio Leone,
spaghetti
Western,
spaghetti Western.
I was all in. I thought that's why I really did like the Jawa episode. To be honest,
really,
I like the dirty Star Wars.
I never said I didn't like it. It was just my least favorite.
No, for sure. It was a little dull, I guess, but I liked how they. It was like a weird take on here's a mission,
Yeah.
He just got ripped off, this dude that's supposed to be badass, I thought it was pretty funny. And then, of course, that was the one, I believe, where we saw Baby Yoda use his powers for the first time, I think.
Yep, grab that beast and lifts it in the air, yep. That was cool.
But, dude, I don't know. The music I thought was just great.
Yeah.
The whole time.
It blew me away. It's one of the first scores in a while that really I thought, wow, this is really doing something.
And you know why? And I've said this before, is because they didn't try to emulate John Williams.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good choice.
Every time you see Star Wars that doesn't involve John Williams, whatever composer they get is trying to be John Williams, and it never works perfectly. You can always tell. It's like the de-aging effect in some movies. You get that creepy vibe. You can always tell it's not quite real.
Yep. It's like, here's the thing. I'm going to get off another tangent here. I wanted to make about the de-aging technique real quick is... Right. I was bothered about the de-aging technique, and I know I'm getting off on a tangent on The Irishman. I don't know if either of you have seen The Irishman yet.
Yes. I didn't see that yet.
But the problem with
Scorsese rubbed me the wrong way by saying the movie.
Yes, I know.
Aren't valid.
But with the de-aging technique with Robert De Niro in that movie was, I thought, horrible.
It was unnatural.
Because of the fact that we all know what Robert De Niro looked like when he was younger, and they made him look like this person when he was younger, kind of.
Why can none of these places...
It just didn't match up.
These special effects companies can do that quite the same way Marvel did.
Well, see, now they did a good job with Al Pacino because Al Pacino's looked old for quite some time now, even though he's not that... Well, he's old now, but, but with Robert De Niro, you definitely see that thin Robert De Niro taxi driver, and you know him, and Raging Bull and all that stuff, and the way they de-aged him is they kept his face, like, really... thick and he gave him a strong jaw and everything, and it's like that's not Robert De Niro young, so it kind of put me off.
Pretty weird.
Yeah, it was strange.
Really bright blue.
Yeah. But the other thing I was going to say about Mandalorian, which I'm going from one to the next, but we're about done. We're about at time here, so I want to get this in.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the funniest things I thought, and we didn't discuss this before, was the whole, which I didn't know was Jason Sudeikis. In the last episode, the two troopers that take Baby Yoda,
the assholes that punch Baby Yoda.
Yeah, but man, that scene is so hilarious, and one of those guys is Jason Sudeikis from Saturday Night Live.
Really?
Yeah. And the other one's another comedian too, who I can't remember. And I went back and watched it, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so funny!" I mean, I knew it was funny originally.
After that scene, they're the most universally reviled people in the Star Wars saga.
Oh god, they just punched him. He's okay. He's just Baby Yoda. He can take a punch. God, he did. And then when he said, "Can't the little guy just do his little hand thing?" That was a classic line too. Yeah, and he just waves. Well, anyway, so here we go, Adan.
I wanted to say that when I was watching that documentary, the day that it came out, first of all, that day, I caught it within seconds. You had the countdown going on to the live stream.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I caught that within seconds of it starting, but I had to leave for work. So I just I left it up, and I decided to watch it when I got home. Also, I was going through the worst hangover that day that I've had since I was a teenager.
Oh, shit.
So I got to go home early from work, not because of that, because we were slow, thankfully. But when I got home, I plopped my ass down in bed, plugged the iPad in, and sat it next to me, and I just sat there and watched the whole damn thing all the way through.
Awesome, man.
That was a good
I did too.
through that. That was the
as
best
soon
part
as
of
I
my
saw
day.
it flip on, I did the same thing. I watched the whole thing, and not just because we were in the first 2 minutes of it. It was just it was very good. It's very well put together, very well done, and I suggest anybody who's into obscure movies or Corey Feldman or anything like that to check this out, because it like he said, it's on Staunch TV right now. He's going to be taking it off because going to another festival. So tell us what you got here in the end, what you got coming up. Do your plugs or whatever, or if you have anything, and let us hear it.
Of course, subscribe to Staunch TV. That's over at YouTube. Mm-hmm. You can find me on Facebook under my personal account. That's Adan Gonzales here in Texas. And you can find me on Instagram at Eddie Murphy and Eddie Murphy still.
Okay.
And then, let me see. Also, I will be at the Victoria, Texas Film Festival in April. The date's not set yet. You have to keep up with me on social media.
Yeah, we'll make sure to get that out on our page too.
Yeah. Oh, and Twitter at Staunch TV also. Catch me there. And I'm going to be just trying to show this thing everywhere I can. If anyone's interested in showing it anywhere that's listening or anything like that, get a hold of you guys, get a hold of me. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. It would be awesome to show it out there with you guys as well.
Maybe I'm definitely gonna, when I get off this and get everything accomplished here, I'm gonna look into the Northwest Ohio Film Festival, because I know it happens every year and it's coming up. So
nothing's ever set in stone, but I'm crossing both my fingers.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope there's something going on. But we'll find. I'll find you some. I mean, not that I'm like your agent or anything, but I mean, I definitely want to get this out there, because I think people want to see it. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot more people in the world that like obscure stuff like this than what people know. So I definitely think.
I thank Mystery Science Theater for that. Actually,
Mystery
Science Theater trained me to keep my eyes open for the weird, obscure shit.
But anyway,
one thing I forgot to mention is that the documentary did win the Pepe Cerne Award.
Oh wow, cool!
He is from the area. He's from Corpus Christi. He was one of the thugs in the bathroom scene in Scarface.
Oh really? Okay. I got to look this up now.
Yeah, his first movie was ironically working for Roger Corman.
Okay,
so it was kind of cool winning the award about a Roger Corman.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Movie,
That is cool as hell.
Yeah, because I was
just trying to get a hold of him. He's really old now, but it'd be cool to talk to him.
That would be cool. Which one was he? Do you know which one he was in the bathroom?
Oh shit, I don't know. He was one of the guys holding him. I know
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, cool.
Doing a quick IMDb search, Pepe Serna, Serna, you know.
Okay.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
All right, cool. All right, well, we hope continued further success for you, of course, Adan. You're our first guest, and you're going to be the guest for some time to come. The more things you do, we want to hear about it, and we want to make sure that we get everything on the table so that you can have, a very successful career, because I think this is really awesome what you're doing. I really do.
And like I said with us, never say never on doing what we want to do. We have
for sure, man.
There's recording equipment here. We can do what we want to do.
Yeah, I know. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. I agree. You guys do too, man. I really appreciate the support.
Not a problem, man. Not a problem. We think it's awesome, and we think it's awesome that somebody's doing, like we said, the obscure stuff, because that's something that we've always been into. Right. When you work in a video store, you get that obscure mentality, because you rent everything.
You see it all every day as you pass by.
I worked in a video store for about 3 years myself. So.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's kind of where we get that.
I miss it. I miss
it too.
Easiest fucking work I ever did.
God, it was so much fun. It was.
Even the asshole customers were easier to deal with there.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
It was nice being rude to him. When they asked for dumb shit. I have someone asked me once, "Do y'all have that movie Hog Wild?" And I said, No, we don't have that movie, Hog Wild. I knew damn well he was talking about wild hogs.
Oh my God!
See, my favorite shit is when people would come back and bring their movie back, like the day they rented it, and say, "This movie sucked. I want my money back." And it's like, well, you know what? That's why it's a rental. You pay the money to rent the movie to see if you want to
see whether or not. Yeah, exactly.
You don't get the money back for a rental.
So someday we're all going to have to talk about our video store horror stories on here one time.
Yeah, for sure.
Again,
all right. Well, we got to close up shop, and hopefully I'm on my way to see Kiss and David Lee Roth tonight.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm hoping to get tickets here at the last minute, and if so, I'll put some footage up right now.
And I'm gonna go.
Okay. I'm
gonna go force feed Dr. Sleep to my wife.
Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it. She'll love it too.
Sweet.
Thanks for joining us today, Adan. As usual, we love you as a guest.
Right.
We're happy for all success and continued success, and keep doing it. And I'm watching the Staunch TV, dude. So I'm looking forward to that next Black Circle Boys segment.
Myself. I am subscribed myself.
Dude.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And thank you for the shout out during the documentary.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
thanks for all that. That was very appreciative. All right.
Yeah, dude.
Well, Adan, you have a good day. You have a good week, and we will be talking to you again soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. You guys take care.
All right, you too, man.
Have fun, man.
Bye.
See you later.
Okay, so that was Adan, and we are pretty much, that's what we were here to do today, was talk to Adan and get his stuff out there. And
I wanted to do another This Week on Social Media thing, but we can't figure out the stuff to get it up on screen right now.
Yeah, we're going to have to fix that.
So there's going to be an extra long segment next week because there's so much shit going on. There's the broom standing thing. There's the fucking...
we were going to ask him about that. We forgot to. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's the motherfucker spitting thing, which I still don't fucking get.
I think it must be a rap thing.
As a white male, I'm interpreting that as this motherfucker spitting means, or spitting, sorry, with an apostrophe.
Yeah.
As meaning he's saying things that I relate to.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah,
that's what I think it means. Although why they have to say it the way they do, I don't know.
Have you seen the broom one? Have you seen all the other ones with the broom one, like the guns and?
I put one up myself that had a broom standing up and a chair and a fucking dildo just sitting on the floor looking straight at me. Like,
they're starting to get wild with it. All right. Well, we had a good time with Adan. We hope you guys did too. It's been a good show, and please remember,
we're going to put a link up to that
documentary. Oh yeah, we definitely will. And please subscribe, like, share, all that fun stuff, and we will see you next week.
Have fun.